Hello folks, the day has ticked over in UTC time. Let's visit CSSBattle.dev and do the daily target. And look at this elaborate design. Definitely has a vibe of two elements. Let's go blank template. And we're gonna create those two elements in the bottom corners using margins, I think. P plus P. So we need some asymmetrical margins to make that happen. I guess we got to push those down. Yeah, something like that. Let's see. 50, 60, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And I guess I'll put a background on the background. It's a better color. And then I'll put a background on the element. And if that's it down at 150, this height is going to be 150. There it is. And then that number is going to be higher. How about 160, 0, minus 8? Something like that. 200. 30, 40, 42. All right. That's piece one. Are there simpler ways to do this? Almost certainly. But here's where we're starting. Let's do a border radius. Oh, let's do things in order. So P plus P, margin. I guess it's going to be what? The margin is going to start at minus 150. There it is. And then probably minus 8. So we're flopping those numbers. 0 to 42. And that's how you get those right in line. No, and I did a comma there. I want to do a semicolon. All lines in CSS terminate with semicolon. That's how we do the separations. They are unique in their meaning. They don't get used for anything else. The scale will be what? Minus 1, 1, like that. Can't tell yet that that's working, so it might not be working, but the proof will be when I do a border radius, which will be 0, 20 pixels, 0, 0. Well, I guess I just need to, no, 0, 20 pixels, 0, 0. All right, next. How about 25? 26, 27, probably 30. Okay. We got dots. We got dots going on. Okay, so this background is going to be what? Video gradient. Sure. 1Q. That's the proxy for circle. 20 pixels. Transparent. And then I'm going to move that. I guess I can do an at. Something like that. Let's just move it over a little more. 110. 30. Great. That's how you do that. And I suppose I can be talked into doing a conic gradient as the second part of that, which is going to be, we'll do a from 180 degrees, and then it's going to be this blue color, 25%, and then white color, 0. And then we move that center. So from 180 degrees, so that's around the horn, right? You start at 0, which is the top. We come down 90 degrees and down again to 180 degrees. Then we start that blue section, which is 25% of the circle, right? at 100 pixels, 10 pixels. That's fine. We actually have the same at here, don't we? In theory, that couplet could be a variable. There's no win in terms of code, but I really want to know if that will work. So let's call it I. Not a good variable name. 120 pixels, 30 pixels. I just want to know if it'll work because I've never tried that before. So let's do var I. It sure looks like it worked. Now, can we do at? That breaks it. But what if we move this and this? That's kind of interesting. So you can have a CSS variable that is at 120 pixels, 30 pixels. That's one of those, what, TIL they say? Today I learned. So that's kind of cool. That may be useful to me at some point in the future. If you have a bunch of backgrounds that you want to center in the same place and you want them to move around, right? If you wanted to animate that background, you could animate the whole thing by changing that value, that at value. So you could have that move around in space. That might be an interesting effect. I don't think it's much of a win in terms of space of the size of the code, but am I going to submit this? Oh no, I'm not, because I have forgotten the little circle in the middle. So let's do that. Radial gradient. 1Q. I think it's dead center, and we need the light gray. And is that correct? Oh, it's just a little off, huh? Just a little off. At 10 pixels. At 50% minus 10. 150. Oh, wait. So actually, I think I don't need that at, but I need to fix the margins. I think this is pushing down, so which one is it? That's it. So with a -8, so that's, what am I doing there? I'm offsetting the margins of the body. So instead of having to make this, and if I do this, then it will be an ellipse, right? Yeah, it'll be an ellipse if I do that. That's all right. All right, have I submitted yet? I haven't even submitted. I really like this at trick, though. I didn't know that you could include at in the background, in the locative part of a gradient, and that's kind of a neat trick. So that is 100% match. Let's use my GitHub plugins that are always linked, the minify and the unireplace. Not particularly short code, right? Like, it's a bunch of gradients and a bunch of margins. Is there a better way to do these things? With this border radius, I find myself thinking, not really. I'm not hemming and hawing about that. Did I unireplace? Yeah, I did. Did I do a final? Maybe I didn't. Yeah, so that's fine. What else can we do there? If we did this with multiple elements for the dots as well, they would have to overshadow the other parts. Because you could do this as a border, right? The gray as a border. But then you need additional elements to do the circles. And then you've also got box. You probably want to do box shadows. So either way, it's a complicated background, unless there's some simpler way that I'm not thinking of right now, which is possible. But I'm just, this is one of the, I'm happy to have learned about the at thing, which reduces down to 30 VW, 30 PX. All right, that's good. Let's get a start to the week. Be good to yourself, be good to everybody else, and go make a webpage. Go make that webpage. I don't know if you checked out. Some of you may have gone to HTML Energy events that were last weekend. I went to one online, which is really great. Just been thinking about that a lot. Go make web pages. HTML is great. CSS is great too, of course. I mean, that's what I do here. I guess in theory, I've got videos that showed a little bit of art making and some videos in the ocean, but mostly I'm doing these, CSS videos. All right, get out of here. I don't know why I'm talking anymore. Don't like, don't subscribe, don't do any of those things. Just have a great day. Okay, bye-bye.